is the May 2011 paper 2, problem 4, and we see that we've got a financial problem. We're going to be doing some currency exchange as well as calculating some simple and compound interest in this problem. So I'm thinking about Larry here, and in January of 2008, Larry had $90,000 in US dollars to invest for his retirement in January of 2011. So he takes his $90,000 and invests it in two spots. He takes $40,000 US dollars and invests in bonds, and the bonds are paying 4% interest, and that interest is calculated using the simple interest formula. And we're asked to calculate the value of his investment in January 2011. Well, we know that the calculation for simple interest is principal times rate times time. Now, I think in your IB formula sheet they have rate times time divided by 100. So make sure that you don't mess up the decimals. We're going to do interest is equal to his $40,000 investment times a rate of 0.04, which is 4 divided by 100, so that's taking into account the 100 in the IB formula sheet, times time. From January 2008 to January 2011 is 3 years. So the interest that Larry has accrued during his 3-month investment, let me get my calculator here, is I should do that with a calculator, $4,800. All right, now that's the interest. But when IB asks you to calculate the value of an investment, they want the initial amount of the investment as well as the interest. So the answer to that question is $40,000, his initial investment, plus the interest that he earned. So the answer that we're going to be looking for here is $44,800 US dollars. So we're going to put units on there because we want to make sure that we've got US dollars indicated. Now, in fact, you're going to lose a point if you don't have a dollar symbol or write USD at the end. Larry changes this investment into South African Rand, ZAR, and the exchange rate is given. Calculate the amount that Larry received from the exchange. So I like to set these problems up as a proportion. We know that 1 US dollar is equal to, sorry about that, working here overtime. 1 US dollar is 18,624 South African Rand, and we want to know how many South African Rand we'll get from $44,800. So we can see that X is equal to, and we're going to multiply 18,624 times 44,800, and so he's going to end up with 834,355 Rand. Again, I'm going to keep emphasizing units. 834,355. ZAR. All right, now he exchanges the remaining 50,000. So remember, he started with 90. He invested 40, and now he's going to change the remaining 50 US dollars right away into South African Rand. The exchange rate was different in 2008, and then Larry also has to pay a 2.5% commission. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the value. Since it says to calculate the value of the commission in dollars, we're just going to do that right away. So 50,000 times 0.025, that's our 2.5%, and we know that Larry ends up paying $1,250 in commission. So now, how much does he actually have to invest? Well, he's got 50,000 minus 1,250. So he actually has 48,750 US dollars to invest. We have to show that the amount he has to invest is equal to 517,000 Rand, correct to the nearest thousand. So we're going to do another calculation with the different interest rate. So I guess back in 2008, one US dollar, the conversion rate was 10.608. South African Rand, again, set up a proportion, and Larry's got 48,750 US dollars to exchange, and we're going to figure out how many Rand he gets for that when we do the multiplication. 10,608 times 48,750, that's equal to 517,140, but we're asked to show that that's equal to 517,000 South African Rand, rounded to the nearest 1,000. The last part of the problem asks us to take this money, the 517,000 South African Rand, and put it into an account. And we've got an interest rate at 12%, and we're going to be compounding monthly. We're going to find the value of the money in his bank account after the investment. So Larry is going to take his investment, and the amount that he's going to end up with is the amount that he invests, 517,000 times 1 plus. We take the interest rate. You can divide by 100 in the problem, and on the IB formula sheet they show the 100 in there. I usually do the division ahead of time. So we've got 12 hundredths over 12. This 12 is the K in your interest on your formula sheet, and that's the number of times that the compounding is calculated. So the number of times compounding occurs. And in the problem it says monthly, so that's where that 12 comes from. And we're going to raise that to the power of K, the number of times that we're compounding, times time. So that's our 3 years. When you're doing one of these calculations, this number of times compounding and that number of times compounding will always be the same. So the amount of his investment, after you just plug that into your calculator, is equal to 739,707 South African Rand. Hope Larry has a nice retirement.